Hello, everybody. My name is Birdie, and this is Bees on a Bender, the buzz about bee boos. So, today I want to introduce you to a very unexpected side of bees. Turns out they like to party, not just metaphorically. Yeah, bees can get drunk, like actually drunk. And when they do, it can lead to some memory loss, a little bit of chaos, and maybe even some bouncers at the hive. So let's talk about how and why bees go on benders and why scientists indulge it. So, how does a bee even get drunk? It's not like they're flying off to the bar after a long day of foraging. What happens is in the heat of the summer, nectar from certain fruits and flowers can ferment under the sun, producing ethanol. When bees sip this fermented nectar, they end up getting tipsy. Their tiny nervous systems respond to alcohol a lot like ours does, and this results in some pretty buzzed bees. Interestingly enough, some bees build a tolerance over time if they keep drinking, and a few even return to the same fermented nectar sources on purpose. What are the signs of a buzzed bee? Bees behave a lot like humans when they're drunk. Their coordination goes a little haywire, their memory becomes completely unreliable, and a bee that's had a little too much fermented nectar might stumble around, bump into things, forget where they're going, or just stop flying altogether. They might crash land into flowers, lose track of a hive, or botch the waggle dance, which could become potentially really dangerous for the bee. Once spotted, the guard bees of the hive will immediately begin an investigation and punishment. Guard bees are like nightclub bouncers. If a bee comes back all tipsy and uncoordinated, the guard will literally block them from entering. Why? Because fermented nectar can spoil the hive's stored honey, and they don't want one fuzzy lightweight ruining everything. Guard bees will even go as far as to bite off all the legs of a drunken bee, which I'll show you right here. Yeah, so it's pretty brutal, not gonna lie. Moving on. Why do scientists care so much about drunken bees? Bees are used in research to study the effects of alcohol. Alcohol affects bees and humans in similar ways. It impairs motor functioning along with learning and memory processing, said Julie Mustard, in regards on how inebriated bees could give researchers better insight into alcohol's effects on human behavior, a study conducted at OSU in 2004. Scientists have used drunk bees to study memory loss, addiction behaviors, and even early indicators of Alzheimer's. In some studies, scientists put bees in tiny harnesses and treadmills to test their drunk reflexes. Bees on treadmills. You're welcome. Anyway, so are drunk bees a bad thing? Kinda, yeah, I would say so. Drunk bees don't forage properly, they can't navigate, and they put the hive at risk. So, in nature, this kind of behavior can be dangerous, especially to the individual bee. But when studied carefully, it does help us understand more about how brains work, both insect and human. So, next time you see a bee stumbling on a daisy, don't judge her. She may have had a rough day and a little too much fermented nectar. All right, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned a little something about bees getting drunk, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.